In the early hours of September 19, 2023, two masked figures creep into a quiet house. Systematically, they ransack it for valuables, taking jewelry and firearms. This might seem like an ordinary, random burglary, but one of these men has a secret. He knows something about a death at the property nearly a year earlier. 52-year-old Harold Allen passed away peacefully in December 2022. So everyone thought. But this burglary's about to blow everything the investigators think they know wide open.
Everyone knows everybody here. You know, it's not like we're in a big city or anything, you know, where these kind of things happen.
This woman is a murderer. I know that. I have not gone to nobody and said anything because I don't have no proof on it. This woman's a psychopath.
Here on The Decoder, we've got exclusive footage and an interview with one of the lead detectives on the case.
If not for the burglary, we wouldn't have even known about the murder.
Welcome to the chilling story of the death of Harold Allen. Harold Allen, nicknamed Peanut, died on December 20th, 2022, unexpectedly young. He had a heart problem and insulin-dependent diabetes, but he was managing both conditions. Or so his wife, 52-year-old Marsha Allen, thought.
911.
Yeah, this is 3287 North State Road 135. My husband's in our bedroom floor. He's non-responsive.
Is he breathing?
No, he's not.
Okay, hold on. Did you find him like that?
Yeah, I work from home and I went back there to check on him because he's been sick. And then when I went back there, he was just laying on the floor like he was trying to get up and go to the bathroom or something. And he's not breathing.
Okay. Do you want to start CPR if I help you?
Yeah, I could do that.
But even with CPR, Marsha couldn't revive him. Harold was dead. He also left behind a stepdaughter, 30-year-old Ashley Jones, and two step-granddaughters who were reeling from this unexpected loss right before Christmas. And they had a police investigation to contend with, which initially seemed routine.
I'm Lieutenant Adam Nicholson, and I was the lead investigator on the Ashley Jones case.
Harold worked as a laborer for a car parts manufacturer.
Everybody that Harold worked with, or his family, friends, all those people, they said he was a very loving husband, he was a good friend, he was a good coworker. He was the kind of person that everyone seemed to like. At the time of his death in December of 2022, the understanding was from the autopsy report is that he passed away due to heart complications. There was no indication that Harold's death was suspicious in any way.
The autopsy was signed on January 18, 2023. It listed his cause of death as calcifying constrictive pericarditis, an underlying heart condition. His system was found to contain opioid painkillers, but only at a low level, as they were prescribed to him for chronic pain. He also had a few recent emergency room visits on his record, but these weren't linked to his heart condition. The autopsy was the end of it. Harold died of natural causes, and his family began to move on, or so everyone thought.
So the Harold Allen case didn't really just appear on my desk. It started basically with a burglary on September the 19th, 2023 at Marsha Allen's home. Marsha Allen was actually out of the state at the time of the burglary. She was visiting Tennessee with her mother and father. And she had recently put in a home security system, and she had access to that home security system on her telephone. So when someone broke into her house at like 5 o'clock that morning, when she woke up in Tennessee about, I think around 8 a.m., she was able to see on her phone that there was people that had been in her house. And one of those people were wearing a ski mask. She could see that they were in her safe and removing guns and jewelry and other items from the safe.
Marsha is able to watch what's happening in her house remotely, and she calls the cops.
Our detectives had went to Marsha Allen's home to investigate a burglary and requested my assistance in locating one of the suspects.
One of the burglars wore a ski mask the whole time. but one of them had his face exposed, and Marsha recognized him. This is 29-year-old Stephen White. By just after 10 a.m. the next day, the cops are at his house.
They said that y'all got me on camera last night burglarizing the place.
If that's the case, you know anything about it?
No,
Stephen is full of excuses.
I don't even have a car. This here's my car. Somebody stole it from me on Sunday night.
But the camera doesn't lie.
Person that owns the house identified either you or him. I don't know which one. There's the picture.
And they got video too.
And we got video. That's just a still shot from a video.
Hold on, let me see here.
Stephen begins to fold.
In 90% of the cases that we work with burglaries, if we can make the victim happy, it's better for the suspect. This is straight up between us, me and him and you. Just we get that stuff back, you know how good that's going to make you look?
Wouldn't make me look very good.
It's going to make you look a lot better if they don't, because we already know who was in the house. And what do you think that he's going to say when we talk to him?
He was right here on in the bed watching Nope.
We have him on video too.
The cop suggests that Stephen's partner in crime is his husband, but Stephen comes to his defense and reveals something startling.
So you're saying it wasn't him?
No.
It was somebody else then? Because that person does have a mask on.
Yep. I'm smoke another cigarette. I'll explain the whole thing. Because that lady is the lady who told me to go get this. Her name's Marsha Allen. And she asked me to go get that because her husband, Harold Allen, passed away of unknown causes in December.
Unprompted, Stephen brings up the death of Harold Allen in that very house 10 months earlier.
She gave me an address. She said, hey, honey, I need you to go up in here. I need you to grab someone and go up in here. And she told me to meet this dude up there. Mm-hmm. And I did. And I went over there. She wanted us to get rid of it. And this woman has hated me for years. But I'm best friends with her daughter.
Okay. What's the daughter's name?
Ashley Jones. Okay. She don't live here. She lives out in New Mexico somewhere right now. Because she told her mom she was not satisfied. I guess apparently Marsha asked Ashley if she could help her take care of her husband, and Ashley has a little baby that's mixed. And pardon my French, she was going on and on about how I got Ashley's a lesbian. She's with a Puerto Rican woman, and Marsha was going on and on about you don't need to be with none of them and sticks. You just need to come home and live with me. Trust me, after Christmas I'll have enough money to take care of us all for the rest of our lives.
This is a whole new angle on Harold's death and his grieving family. Marsha doesn't seem to be so sad at all. Instead, she's profited from it.
She told me, and I already deleted all the messages, like she asked me to. She said, hey, I'll give you $3,000. You can go to my house. Gave me the safe code. She said, you can go down there, you can get this, and I need it all taken somewhere, please, because his brothers is trying to get into my house and they want to take me to court and take all of Harold's guns and everything.
Could the burglary have been Marsha's idea?
She told me to go on Monday night and Tuesday night, and it sounds to me like she set me up real quick. The other person, whoever it was that she had that I met up with, I don't even know this guy from Adam. He said his name was Richard, and he said no names. No names. Had me unplug my Bluetooth thing, turn my phone off, and everything. Like, dude took my phone, and he is the one who told me where to go. Like, because I had the directions in my phone. I'm like, okay, this is what I've been told to do.
It's certainly convenient for Stephen to say he felt threatened while committing the burglary.
You know, it was hard to tell at first whether he was just trying to give us information to try to get himself out of trouble that he was in for the burglary, or if he was actually being sincere. But regardless, we took it serious. We looked into it. We opened an investigation, and you know, I'm glad that we looked into it as much as we did, because if we hadn't, we would have never been able to solve the murder.
This is the kind of account that feels like the tip of the iceberg. Marsha and her family are turning out to be far more complicated than they first appeared.
Her daughter Ashley told me in November when we were living in Florida. She said, if you ever come back to Indiana, don't put it on your Facebook because my mom is watching you. And she don't like that husband of yours because she thinks that Nathaniel caused a rift between Ashley and her years ago. This woman is a murderer, okay? I know that. I have not gone to nobody and said anything because I don't have no proof on it. This woman's a psychopath. And I'm telling you guys that right now.
And there it is, the most chilling suggestion of all.
According to her husband passed away because she needed that life insurance money. But she did not get that life insurance money because the policy was set to go to his brother.
When someone passes away for a reason, it can't really be called passing away any longer. You'd call it something else.
She told me straight up, she said, look, I had to take care of Harold, maybe his name was Harold Allen or Alan Harold, hell, I don't know.
Stephen's husband leads the investigators to his accomplice.
So the person that he left with came here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that guy, was he a white guy or a black guy?
He was white.
He was white? Okay. You know what he was wearing?
I think black pants and a white shirt. I think it's a white shirt.
Okay. Kind of like what you're wearing right now?
Yeah.
Is that somebody you're familiar with, though, that you've talked to before?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's his name?
I think it's King Napier or something like
Kane Napier. Okay.
So Stephen is lying. He did know his accomplice, 28-year-old Kane Napier. But does that mean he's been lying about the rest?
Kane is my friend that I fucking took home. Well, I went and picked him up from his girlfriend's house last night.
Was he with you when you were unloading the guns here?
This morning,
Yeah. Whenever you got back with all the guns.
he was passed out, yeah.
Truth that you have told us in the
You've given us partial truth. We need the whole truth.
you know, don't.
And we already know that Kane was with you. So there's no use in protecting him now.
Yep.
He admits it was Kane.
The reason I haven't told you is because Ashley's the one who set this up.
Okay.
And
You were the one that set it up?
no,
No, Ashley
not
was.
me. Ashley did.
So,
Because her mom, she told me her mom gave her $28,000. Let me keep drinking that because I'm going to go to jail. But I want to hit that one more time. Ashley was the one who said everything. But the reason why was because everything that I just said to you.
okay.
This woman's murdered her husband. And if you go into her computer files.
So Stephen has changed his story. Now he's saying it was Marsha's daughter, Ashley, who was responsible for the burglary. But he's doubling down on the idea that Harold didn't die of natural causes. That, he says, is the truth.
I called her daughter, who explains to me mom has gone crazy and her husband died of unknown causes, but I think it might have been a heart attack, but I know it wasn't that because he was just fine. Everyone was drinking on Christmas Eve. Marsha went into the kitchen and made a root beer float with whipped cream and sprinkles on top of it. And she poured something out of a bottle into there. And she told Ashley that that was his little extra shot because he likes spiked root beer floats. That's what she told her daughter. And she gave it to him. He drank it. I guess her granddaughter went to take a drink. And she grabbed her, yanked her away and started screaming, "You're supposed to be in bed. You need to go to bed. I want to drink a Pop's root beer float. You're supposed to be in bed." That's what Ashley said to me.
Stephen recounts an incident around Christmas time. It's secondhand, so he gets the date wrong. By Christmas Eve, after all, Harold was already dead.
The story I know was Marsha had took all their phones and put them up while they were drinking. I'm going to put the phones on charge, guys. We're going to put them in the back room. We don't need them ringing and waking the girls up. You know what I mean? Because we're going to have our drinks. We're going to have our adult time, blah, blah, blah. And then it was I think Ashley said it was horrible because an hour and a half later, he started saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm drunk. I got to go to bed. I don't feel right," but he only had that one drink, apparently, and maybe 2 beers.
From the sounds of it, someone had put something in Harold's drink, and the consequences were fatal. But who did it? And if we're to take Stephen's story seriously, who set up the burglary? Marsha or Ashley?
I talk to Ashley, sometimes still on the phone. I'm pretty positive that that was Marsha.
Stephen's pretty set on who to blame.
Marsha done killed her husband. "Sorry, Mom. Marsha set me up."
But the cops can't take anything for granted.
So to initially start investigating the murder after we received the information from Stephen White and the burglary, we brought Marsha Allen in on September the 20th, 2023. And she was giving us information about the burglary and the items that were taken And before she left, she was asked about her husband, Harold Allen's death. During that interview, a detective asked her if she would give consent to a phone download, and she agreed. Once we received the phone download and was able to, start dissecting text messages, emails, Google search history, things like that, that was probably the moment that we realized the information that we had received during the burglary about Harold Allen's death was real.
Based on this digital evidence, the investigators get a search warrant for Marsha's house.
How's it going, Marsha? We're here today because we got a search warrant for your house, okay, to go through some stuff. I know you probably feel a little bit maybe intimidated with all the officers here.
Well, no, because I have nothing to hide.
Before I ask you anything, though, I want to make sure you understand your rights, okay? Then I can talk to you.
The warrant is for all her other electronic devices. They carry it out early in the morning on October 16th.
What stands out in my memory about the day that we executed the warrants at Marsha Allen's home is probably once we got her back to the sheriff's department and started interviewing her again for like the second time. And this was the time that we actually were able to present text messages to Marsha, show her the text messages on my computer and say, what's this mean? Help us clear this up. And she had an excuse for everything.
Like before, the cops start with the burglary and her home security.
I had like maybe $15,000 to $20,000 in there. Well, when I went back to put it back into my savings, I only had like $3,000-$4,000 left.
And it was in the safe?
It was in the safe. And I didn't have cameras at the time, so I couldn't prove anything.
But the only person, I think you told the detective at one point that knew that.
Ashley, and my husband.
Of the 3 people who knew the combination to the safe, one of them was dead, and one of them was Marsha herself. And either Ashley or Marsha must have given Stephen the code to the safe later on, as the CCTV footage shows Stephen looking at his phone before opening the safe.
Was the reason for the cameras because the money went missing?
No.
Or just...
I had never left my cats alone for that long before. And I had a bad feeling. I thought maybe one of them would have died or something. And I felt bad if I didn't know about it. And I got them to keep an eye on my cats.
Mm-hmm.
I never in my life would have thought I would have caught anybody coming in the house. That shocked me.
Especially somebody you know and
I didn't
recognize.
know who it was. It scared me. I'm still scared. That's why I got the security surveillance cameras, because every time I hear a noise, I jump.
Was Marsha just paranoid? Or was there a reason she was so jumpy after Harold's death?
Was there any reason you think anyone else, or maybe even Ashley, would have wanted to hurt Harold?
No, not
no reason. Maybe.
I thought things were fine. Obviously, they weren't. I had no idea. If I'd even had an inkling, I wouldn't even let them in the house.
I'm just, trying to put 2 and 2 together. Like the money was missing, she got the money. Maybe she knew that there was a life policy. And
the life policy wasn't that big. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Was he mean to you? Was he mean to her?
No.
He wasn't mean to the kids or anything like that, where she would have had some kind of way or some reason for any kind of retaliation.
I don't understand.
Okay.
According to Marsha, it was most likely Ashley who engineered the burglary in September, and Ashley who killed Harold 9 months earlier. Marsha claims to be ignorant of the whole thing.
Just from the messages alone, not including other stuff that is going to come to light, but that something was done to him. We're really trying to wrap our minds around it too, because unless these messages mean something totally different, but if you know that she did something, I don't want you, and I know it's your daughter, and I have kids, I have 3 daughters, I have 1 son, and I know how hard that would be. They're young, mine, not as old as Ashley, so my kids haven't had the chance to betray me the way that your daughter has betrayed you. And I can't imagine being in that situation that you're in, but I just want you to know that we are talking to you first, and if you do know something that she did, to make sure that you tell me today, because when we talk to her, I don't think she's going to hold back.
The investigators present Ashley as suspect number 1. They're giving Marsha the opportunity to get ahead of the story by telling them what happened.
You're human. Everyone makes mistakes. And if, my feeling is if it was a mistake, then we need to know that.
I have a feeling that things are twisted.
Why you think that?
And she's a child. She'll say things. And I always call it telling the truth without telling the truth. She'll say something, make it sound like she's joking or something, but actually telling the truth.
The investigators try to draw out any natural friction between mother and daughter. Ashley's been living in New Mexico with another woman, also named Ashley.
I mean, did you support her with, being with another woman?
I don't care what she's, as long as she's happy.
I mean, if she did do something to hurt Harold, is she going to tell? I mean, she's probably not going to tell me that,
I don't want to see why she would. That makes no sense to me.
Ashley has been married in the past to a man named Tarson Jones, who died suddenly in 2019.
This is all I have of my nephew.
William says Tyson was found dead in his home in 2019, just days after he received an inheritance from his great-grandfather. He says family members were unaware of Tyson's death until they got a call from Ashley.
She had his body cremated, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So before the family could even ask for an autopsy or to have anything done about it.
What happened to Ashley's, her husband?
He had the front part of the heart had a blockage in it, and they said that no one would have known it unless they caught it when it happened, and it ended up killing him. So I guess he had a heart attack, I'm not sure.
It's an eerily familiar situation. A coincidence or something worse? This is when the investigators bring up the supposedly poisoned root beer mentioned by Stephen.
We all had root beer floats. If that happened, we all would have had something done to us. I didn't even know Stephen even knew where I lived.
And then to, make the accusation that you did something to your husband.
I did not do anything to my husband.
Did Harold actually die on the 20th or was it the 19th?
He died on the 20th.
What was like, you could just tell he was going downhill fast, or?
He wasn't talking right. He was slurring his words. But he had been doing that for a couple of days.
Marsha paints a picture of Harold's ongoing health issues, which we know now were caused by more than just bad luck. In response, the cops show her a screenshot of one of her text exchanges with Ashley.
There's a picture that she had the order pulled up on her.
Unfortunately, just on that piece of paper, you can't see it. But then this is you to her. It says, "How much do you need?"
She asks me for money all the time, mainly just for cigarettes.
The order, dated December 14th, is for half a gallon of ethylene glycol. Odorless and colorless, it's used in things like antifreeze, and when ingested, it's deadly.
So that's like the UPS tracking code for this ethylene glycol.
She sends me UPS tracking code for everything that she orders for Christmas and everything. I never look at them.
But this one was sent from you.
If Ashley used ethylene glycol to poison her stepfather, Marsha's trying to claim she didn't know anything about it. But her digital footprint suggests otherwise.
He takes it all the time.
It does show when you deleted them on September 20th.
The burglary took place on September 19th. The very next day, Marsha deleted her text conversations with Ashley, perhaps because she knew the police would now have a reason to look.
Luckily, we were able to still retrieve those text messages. You could see on the download when the messages were deleted, and she actually deleted them while she was in the interview with our detective.
Thanks to the messages, they now knew what to look for when overturning the original autopsy.
So once we find out about Harold's death, we have to contact the hospital and ask them about the autopsy and receiving the autopsy or the coroner's office. And we learn at that point that this autopsy, they had removed Harold's heart and still had heart tissue at the hospital. We learned that the hospital keeps any organ tissue that they removed during an autopsy, they keep that for 1 year. So we were within that 1 year. We were pushing 1 year, but we were still within that 1 year. So we had the heart tissue, and we also had the blood that was taken from the autopsy. So we were able to hand deliver the heart tissue and his blood to a lab in Philadelphia. Ultimately, we were able to determine that at the time of Harold Allen's death, he did have ethylene glycol in his system.
It was the ethylene glycol that killed him, the poison that Ashley and Marsha had collaborated on ordering. Marsha's been trying to cast blame on Ashley, but she was just as involved.
I don't know that there was ever a time where we thought Marsha was more guilty than Ashley, or Ashley was more guilty than Marsha. It was a duo. They were both equally involved and are both equally just as guilty as the other.
On December 17th, they discussed the imminent arrival of the poison.
You guys maybe thought that the order was coming, and then she wanted to know about slushies that night. That seems a little bit odd to me, considering that we were just talking about an order of ethylene glycol coming.
On December 19th, it arrives.
The mail is here, smiley face.
So what is being claimed is that you guys poisoned him.
Which is not true.
But that's what's being claimed.
I
And that's what we're trying to figure out, because when you look at these messages,
It looks sketchy, I know.
but it's saying that root beer float is what it was done.
You know, it was only put in his. If the ethylene glycol was only put in Harold's and not yours or Ashley's or the kids, I mean, you guys would be fine.
Undeterred by her excuses, the investigators dig in deeper to previous conversations.
What are foxglove seeds?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know what foxglove is.
What's foxglove?
That's a plant that's around different areas.
Anyone ever come into contact with any of that stuff or anything?
No.
No one ever come in contact with it?
Ashley would ask me about different plants that were poisonous, afraid that they would get into it, or because it was too little and she didn't know what it was when they went places.
You said, I need foxglove seeds. And she says, I think I can get them at Walmart.
They're pretty flowers.
And then she said, thank you, we are watching a new movie on Netflix with the kids, and those are traceable.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, and you see why that's concerning, because she says those are traceable.
I don't know what she meant by that.
Marsha's response to Ashley saying the seeds were traceable? If they look for it, LOL. Foxglove seeds are toxic if ingested. They can lead to symptoms like vomiting, fever, and chills. This conversation took place on November 27th. On November 30th, Harold showed up at the hospital with these exact symptoms.
So you said, I am irritated and can't sleep. This is on November 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Can't sleep peacefully. I need this to be over. It's hanging on by threads, and he's mean and narcissistic. Like, it's hanging on by threads. What's it's?
My nerves.
He snaps and acts all sweet and innocent, like I am being mean to him for days now.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, and it is hanging on by a thread. It's so long because he's big. Moves slow and has to build. You say, I wish it would reach its climax and be done, LOL. She says, agreed. She said, close though, it's symptoms, then that.
The it they were referring to could be none other than Harold himself. Marsha had poisoned him, and they were waiting for him to die.
You know what she means by the second one where it says, if not, we'll do something else?
We tried everything. Get rid of the flu, the COVID. We tried all kinds of meds.
This same day, Marsha sent Ashley a photo of Harold asleep, sick on the couch. His condition was almost all they talked about. But he rallied, and he got better. So they tried again.
I think you ordered something for her. She says you can't touch the plant when they come, just saying, gloves. You say, laugh out loud, that's what I was going to tell you also. You will need gloves.
Yeah, those are the plants that were in the basement.
She said, aha. Or no, you said, aha. She said, oh, I know, I'll need to wear gloves and have some time alone to prepare the root.
This was on December 2nd. Ashley had placed an order for a water hemlock plant the day before. It's the most toxic plant that grows in North America. Just a tiny piece of its roots is enough to kill a horse. Marsha put it in a chili, a Sprite, and a margarita for Harold. He got sick, but he didn't die. And these attempts had been going on for a month. In September that year, Ashley ordered Pong Pong seeds on eBay, another poisonous plant that could be slipped into food. In October, she texted Marsha to say they were arriving that day. Marsha responded, "Yay."
The medical history of him going to the hospital was always misdiagnosed by ER staff. But it was common symptoms like diarrhea or stomach pain. I think he had blood in his stool at one time. They had diagnosed him with some diverticulitis. He was also on insulin. He was a diabetic. So the symptoms that he was experiencing were consistent with what the ER staff was diagnosing him with, but they were also consistent with, being poisoned by Pong Pong seed or by water hemlock.
If someone had noticed the implications of his symptoms, he might have realized what was going on. But they didn't, and he continued to eat and drink whatever his wife gave him.
Harold thought he had a wife that loved him, and he had a stepdaughter who he loved, who had a child, and he welcomed Ashley and her child into his house and let her move in. He loved spending time with his wife. He loved to go on vacation with his wife. But, my impression of their relationship is Harold being that guy who just likes to spend time with his wife and, has no idea that they're trying to kill him.
Did you guys go to school together?
We did. We went to high school together, graduated together. Didn't know who either one of us was. We went to our 30-year class reunion and then got to talking, and we've been together ever since.
They'd only been together for 3 years, but that was enough time for their relationship to have soured, as evidenced in the text messages. They were fighting, and Marsha said she'd lost trust in him. Ashley was with her every step of the way, but the investigators still try to keep her confidence.
I can't imagine how you feel being betrayed by your daughter. But at this point, there is so much content there, and I would almost call it evidence.
In using this word, betrayed, they're using the language of her own text messages. On September 19th, the evening of the burglary, Marsha accused Ashley of betraying her by stealing from her.
I feel like Ashley had a lot to do with this, and maybe you were dragged along. The same day that this is delivered, there's root beer floats. And then the very next day, Harold's dead.
The investigators turned to questions of motive, such as life insurance.
1 year's pay, which was $64,000, and then he had a $50,000 one, which paid for his funeral, and I had to pay off a couple of things on the house because I wouldn't be able to afford to keep the house payment plus that.
So was there any talk between March and September when the money was taken? Was there any talk between Ashley, like her wanting to know how much money was there, or her is there still money there, or maybe she felt entitled to getting some of the money?
I honestly don't know why she took it.
She wouldn't feel like you owed her money for her helping you kill Harold?
No, because I did not kill him.
And there's stranger things to come.
Me and another detective were reading through it, and it's like, do they think he's possessed? That's literally our thought process.
Marsha and Ashley talked a lot about Harold's dark energy, calling him demonic and possessed.
I always ignored that stuff, which I probably shouldn't have.
And then it says it's looking for someone to attach itself to, and then she talks about the grandchildren, and you say, well, that's not going to happen. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. But at this time, whatever's trying to attach or attack the grandchildren is in him, according to the messages. It's in him. And
she's always said that, but I've never believed it.
And she thought that was some kind of demon that was in him?
She's always talked about stuff like that. I just never paid attention to it.
Either Ashley or Marsha or both believed that there was some kind of demon or something inside of Harold that they were going to try to kill.
This is a new, disturbing layer to the case. But Marsha insists she never believed in that, and she sticks to her story.
There's one ticket here, there's you and Ashley. I don't know if you guys are going to fight over who gets that ticket, but somebody is going to use that ticket.
I already know what she's going to say, and it's all going to be lies.
Marsha doesn't take that ticket. She admits to nothing, and the investigators terminate the interview. Marsha leaves the police department under a cloud of suspicion. She isn't under arrest, but it's looming, so she takes matters into her own hands. That same evening, she dies by suicide.
So we were going to interview Ashley Jones on October the 17th, and which is the day after her mother just passed away. So Ashley Jones didn't know that Marsha had passed away yet. And we had a decision to make then. Do we tell Ashley about her mother, or do we interview her first and then tell her after the interview? And it was my decision to not tell her before the interview. And the reason that I chose that decision is because I wanted the truth in the interview. I didn't want to give her an out as far as being able to push this on her mom, who she knew had already passed away.
We'll be with you in just a minute.
All right.
What was your relationship like with Harold?
He was nice.
Okay.
You know, he didn't really talk much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
What did he pass away from?
I don't know, Mom didn't really say.
So far, she's playing ignorant.
Was she having financial problems?
She said he would just blow through money, make $4,000 a month, and barely get by.
Talking about Harold?
Yeah.
It was around August 2022 when Ashley and her kids moved in with Marsha and Harold, just before the first poisoning attempt.
How did Harold feel about you guys moving in? Was he cool with that, or did he ever get kind of grumpy because of it? Or
No, he was actually very nice about it. He loved the girls. He said, I never got a chance to be a dad or a grandpa or anything, and we were eating that up.
She's painting a picture almost too good to be true.
Do you remember anything ever mentioned about Harold possibly having some kind of demon, or I think it was referred to as it?
She would say something about an it when his moods would flip. That was pertaining to whenever he began snippy with her.
As she downplays the extent of her mother's belief in demons.
I thought that more was like just a metaphor.
But this doesn't match up with the text messages, where Ashley was frequently sending her mother Amazon links to energy cleansing candles and talking about cleansing herbs from the Bible. So they try the same strategy on Ashley that they used just yesterday on her mom.
I think at some point she probably dragged you into something that you didn't want to be in, or there was something to do with those demons or something, you know, with that. But we just want to know the truth, and I think you know the truth.
There was definitely ethylene glycol that was ordered.
I mean, is your relationship with your mom good?
Yes and no. I kind of just put up with what she does. She's always tried to drag me into whatever she gets into. And
the way Ashley seizes the investigator's words and quotes them back at him is a major red flag. She knows she's in trouble.
Like I said, she said all the time, can I use your phone to look something up? Which I thought was weird. You got your own, but whatever.
Okay. Somebody in that house that night did something to him. So we either have to look at Marsha, you, or Ashley, your fiance, because I don't think the two kids did it.
God, no.
And I think that Ashley, your fiance, I don't think she did it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that's why I'm trying to get through to you that this is very important. If you know, because you know there's going to be one ticket here, and I don't know if you and your mom are going to fight over that ticket, but we already know what happened to him.
But with Marsha dead, there is no ticket. Ashley is the only one in their crosshairs.
Was there a life insurance policy that you're aware of?
There was, but it didn't go to her.
Who did it go to?
His brother. She wanted to be free of him completely. She wanted him dead. And I said, you're going to go to hell for that, Mom.
she's happily casting all the blame on Marsha, but that isn't good enough.
So my question is, did she ask you to help by placing the order for her?
She asked me to place order for her, yeah.
For the ethylene glycol?
For something like that.
You do remember it being ethylene glycol, right?
53 minutes in, she admits to buying the ethylene glycol for Marsha. Marsha sent her the money for it, $32 through Cash App, a transaction the cops can trace.
For that woman, I just do what she asks and always have since I was a child.
She also admits to helping with the foxglove seeds.
Was she concerned that it wasn't working?
Yeah.
What concerns?
She said, I'm never going to be free. And I'm like, okay. It's because it's not supposed to be. And she kept begging for the same help. She kept saying, I can't live this way. And it was the same repetitive cycle. It was until she gets sedated, she doesn't stop, and she'll make life's hell if she doesn't get what she wants.
Let's not forget that it was Ashley who said on November 28th that if the foxglove seeds didn't work, then they could try something else. She's making herself out to be far more passive than she actually was.
You knew she was going to be putting ethylene glycol in the drink?
I knew that she intended to.
Manipulative, but also easily manipulated.
The demon stuff, can you tell me any more about that? Did she really think that he was possessed?
She thought he had something in him. She did. I thought she was just, like I said earlier, dissociating what she didn't like from the man.
Okay.
And making it like a character. But the way she would word it, she really believed something was inside him.
And
that it was going to attack everybody in the house and it was making her mean, and she really believed it.
But the burglary organized by Ashley suggests a rather different reason she kept her mouth shut about her mother's beliefs.
As time went on, it seemed like Ashley probably didn't even really believe this. It was just a motive for her to get her mother on board with killing Harold so she could gain financially. So how much money did your mom end up with from the insurance?
Like 60,000, I think she said.
60,000. They had also looked into how much all the guns that were worth and that were in their safe. They had also looked into how much the property in the house was. I think at one time they said the house was going to be around $350,000. So they were going to sell all of his property. They were going to sell his truck. They were going to sell his motorcycle. They were going to sell his house. They were going to sell everything that he owned to gain financially.
Ashley could claim it was her spiritual mom's idea all along, but the digital evidence and the cold hard cash tell a different story. She'd expected to profit from her stepfather's death, and when Marsha withheld the proceeds, it looks like she enlisted Stephen to help her steal them. She practically said as much in her text with him. On May 16, 2023, she sent him a link to Harold's obituary, saying, "Mom owes me and f***ed me over." Little did she know that the burglary would be her undoing, and Marsha's. After the interview, another cop comes in.
So, I'm here to talk to you about something completely different.
Okay.
Okay? It's not going to be an easy conversation, okay? After your mom was here yesterday and spoke with us, we got a call to go check on her welfare at her home, and she's passed away.
What?
She passed away.
What happened?
Without going into a lot of detail,
What you can tell me.
It appeared that there was something ingested possibly, and passed away on her bed.
The death of her mother changes everything for her defense, but it's too late. She's confessed.
So we wanted to tell you in person that you are under the arrest for the murder of Harold, okay? And conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder.
As the state prepares for her trial, they think they've got all the evidence they need, but Ashley continues to surprise them. In April 2024, they're approached by one of her fellow inmates who shows them a letter Ashley gave her to smuggle out of the prison. In it, she talks about a prayer list that she wants to add people to, including Stephen White and Kane Napier. Prayer list here is code for hit list. The investigators get the inmate to wear a wire. A lot of the audio is difficult to make out because Ashley's careful.
With a high-powered rifle right there, back in that.
Was a high-powered rifle mentioned and maybe 2 shots to the neck.
Okay, right here, she said, can your people get guns with scopes, a high-powered rifle? Right here severs every nerve and kills you instantly, or right here. Okay, I mean,
So
right
that's
here.
how she was wanting these
She
people
touched
taken
me.
out.
Ashley specifically.
The inmate gets Ashley to write another letter with more details of her proposed targets, including addresses and a map.
This is Stephen White's mother. This is her handwriting, not mine.
So she wrote all this?
Yes. This is the layout of the apartment building where she's wanting them to shoot. Because I told her about the
Who were they wanting? Who was she wanting her to shoot?
Ashley Neves, and she was to take out the little girl. I don't know if you guys heard that.
According to this inmate, Ashley was putting out a hit on her own fiancé.
Did she say why she wanted Ashley Neves taken out?
Because she said she was there when she poisoned Harold.
This is not the behavior of someone who was coerced by her mother into helping her kill. No, Ashley is a killer herself.
Some of the messages that stick out to us the most is probably the LOLs, laugh out loud, smiley face emojis when Harold is suffering and, in severe pain, or even at the ER because they're trying to kill him and they're laughing about it. I remember there being a text message where Ashley laughed that the ER staff sent him home. Her text message was LOL, they dismissed him, or they dismissed him, LOL, one of the two. But she was like, she couldn't believe, just laughing that the hospital staff basically dismissed him from the hospital and let him go home. And they had gotten away again with trying to kill him.
Worse, it's a pattern of behavior.
Ashley Jones had been married before. Her husband died of heart problems. Marsha Allen was living with a man in Crothersville, which is also in Jackson County, and he died of heart problems. So it was like this continuously, it seemed like the men that they were around were dying, and they all were dying of heart problems. I believe that they have done this before, and I have no doubts if they weren't stopped and if they weren't caught, they would have kept doing it and probably done it again already.
Ashley pleads guilty to level 1 felony charges of conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder in 2025. She's sentenced to 50 years in prison.
And I am very, very happy with the 50-year sentence. I think that the 50-year sentence is probably the biggest sentence that anyone in Jackson County has ever received.
Both Stephen White and Kane Napier plead guilty to a level 4 felony charge of burglary. They're each sentenced to 1,095 days to include time already served. Ashley's charges on conspiracy to commit burglary are dismissed in September 2025. She's already behind bars, so it doesn't make much difference. Marsha escaped justice. The kicker, and that year before her death, she wrote a book about her husband's death.
First look, we thought, this maybe is just a woman that's grieving her husband. But then, after the evidence and the text messages, and we see the true Marsha Allen for what she was, it seemed to be more of a deterrent. Like the book was something maybe meant to throw us off of her.
Published on Amazon on June 8, 2023, just 3 months before the burglary and everything that followed. The book was called From Surviving to Thriving: Rebuilding Your Life After the Loss of a Spouse.
One thing I do know about the book is that the date of Harold's death is wrong, which kind of told me that it was an AI written book. She didn't even put her thoughts into it.
Even after Harold was gone, Marsha was trying to profit off him.
He loved his family. He was a hardworking man. He wasn't a rich man. He worked every day of his life. He worked the night that he was killed. He worked that day. And on his way home from work, he stopped to get wood pellets for the stove to keep the house warm for his wife and stepdaughter.
To repay him for this generosity, they killed him. And if it wasn't for Ashley's apparent greed in setting up the burglary, no one would ever have known. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, the U.S. National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7, 365 days a year. 1-800-799-SAFE 7233 or thehotline.org. What do you think about this horrifying story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, keep up with our channel, and we'll see you very soon on The Decoder.